Hello, students. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing really well. So, students, today we are going to study a chapter from your Moments book, the first chapter, which is The Lost Child. It is written by Mulk Raj Anand. So, students, as you can see in this picture, there is a boy who is going to a fair with his mother and his father. So, students, I hope all of you have been to fair. And many people they go to fair with their friends or their families to have a really good time, to see what all they are selling in the fair and enjoy and have a good time. So let's see, students, what all we have in this chapter. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? So let's start the chapter. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Students, the meaning of alleys means a garden or a park which has trees on both the sides. And gaily means happily. So there were people who were really nicely dressed, they were very happy, and they were enjoying the environment of a fair. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. So here it is being written that how many people they were coming to the fair. Some were walking, some were coming on horses, some were sitting on bullock carts, and like that. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. Brimming means someone when someone is full of happiness, they are feeling really happy. So they become so much, they enjoy so much that it becomes overflowing. So similarly, this little boy, his happiness was overflowing because he was going to a fair with his family. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. So, students, whenever we go to a fair, we see that there are so many shops that are selling so many exciting things. That can be toys, that can be sweets, that can be flowers. So, this little boy, he was so much fascinated when he saw the toys that he lagged behind. His parents had to call, come, come. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. Lingering means that lasting for a long time. And receding toys means the toys that has been left behind. Okay? As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart. Even though he well knew the old, cold stare of refusal in their eyes. So his father never allowed him to buy anything. Even though he wanted something very badly, he really wanted it. But his father said, no, you cannot have it. So here the word cold means having no feeling of affection. Generally also we say that he is a cold-hearted man, which means that he is having a heart which has no affection. He doesn't have love or affection for anybody. I want that toy, I want that toy, he pleaded. His father looked at him red-eyed, in his familiar tyrant's way. Tyrant means cruel way. So the moment the boy said, Papa, please, I want that toy, I want that toy, his father got really angry and he started to stare at him. How dare you? I will not let you buy any of the toys. So we all know that he was a kid. Like any of the kid, he also wanted to buy toys. But as I told you earlier, his father was very cruel and he did not let him buy anything he wanted. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold. So his mother really felt bad that the boy is not allowed to have any toy. She really cared for the boy. So she gave him her finger and asked him to hold it and said, Look, child, what is before you? It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So students, you must also have seen that mustard field, they are very large in like area wise. So there are yellow flowering mustard. They look very tempting to eyes because it's very bright in color and it looks like melting gold. As you can see in this picture, child, there is a mustard field and there are some butterflies or dragonflies that are coming. Now, students, like I told you, the meaning of the word tyrant. So, can you please recall what is the meaning of the word tyrant? Tyrant means cruel. Now, my second question is, what did the child's mother showed him? She showed him a large field of mustard. Now, let's move ahead. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. So, as you have seen that in the mustard field, many dragonflies they come, also bees come. So there were dragonflies, and here the word bustling means full of lively activity. They are just buzzing around, they are flying here and there. So they were full of lively activity. And gaudy means something which is extremely bright. So they had very extremely bright purple wings. Okay, and the word intercepting here means to stop or to interrupt. So, like the bees also came in the mustard field to look for or to suck the sweetness from the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze, till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would even try to catch it. So the child was so much fascinated looking at these butterflies and dragonflies. His gaze means his attention. He was looking at at these butterflies and other dragonflies with full care, but he even tried to catch them because as a child we all know that how much we are fascinated to catch a butterfly. You must have also tried in your homes or in your gardens to catch a butterfly, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his arms. Then his mother gave a cautionary call. Come, child, come to the footpath. So it is very difficult to catch a butterfly because it always moves. It's always flutter and flap. So the butterflies and dragonflies, they were fluttering and flapping in the air, and he was not able to catch it because his mother called him and said, Come, child, let's go to the footpath. He ran towards his parent gaily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. So he was walking very happily. Gaily means very happily, and he's walking abreast means he was walking side by side in the same direction of the parents. But soon he was left behind. Now, can you tell me why he was left behind? Yes, he was continuously left behind because he was very busy looking at different things, looking at stalls, looking at mustard field. So he was so much attracted by these things that he always lagged behind. His parents went ahead of him. Now, this time, what did he see? He saw that there were so many insects and so many worms. They were coming out. They were coming out in large quantities from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Like I told you, it was a weather of spring, and in spring everything is very bright and sunshine, and these worms also enjoy coming out in warm. Yes. Come, child, come. His parents called from the shade of grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards him. So students, here the word grove means a small wood or a group of trees. So his parents went there and they had seated themselves. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the running petals in his hand. A lot of flowers, young flowers, they fell upon the child, and he was feeling really excited, and he started to gather the petals. Like he did his hands like this and he started to collect the petals that were falling from upside. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parent, shouting, The dove! The dove! The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. Now, as he was collecting the flowers in his soft hands, he suddenly saw a very exciting bird, that is, the dove. So, students, as you also know, that the bird dove is known for the symbol of peace. It symbolizes peace. So the child was so excited to see the dove that he forgot that he was collecting the petals, and petals were dropping from his hands. And he was like, he could hear the cooing of doves. Cooing means the sound the doves, like it's a sound of dove birds. So they were cooing, and he was shouting that, Papa, Mama, see, there's a dove, there's a dove. As you can see, this is a picture of a dove. It's fully white in color and kind of look like sparrows. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. So again and again they have to call, come, child, come, child, come, because the child was lagging behind. He could not match the pace of the parents because they were going straight into the fair. But this young boy, he was so much distracted by the things around him, very exciting, colorful things around him, that he always lagged behind. Now, here the word capers means leaping or jumping in a playful manner. When you also get excited, you don't walk. When you get excited, you jump. They were leaping and jumping in a very playful manner. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs. Throngs here means huge crowd. Okay, they were converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So he saw that a huge crowd was converging. Converging means gathering in the fair, because obviously many people will come to the fair. They want to enjoy it and they want to have a good time. So they were coming, and so he was really confused, and he was also very fascinated at the same time. He was having dual emotion, that first of all, when he saw the crowd, he repelled, and then he started to feel very fascinated by a huge crowd that was gathering around him. A sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves of silver and gold. So as soon as he was entering into the fair, he could see a sweet seller. You must have also seen, and how they hawk, they call for customers. Similarly, he could see that there was a sweetmeat seller and he was selling these things. And he is comparing the sweet shop with the architecture, because there were heaps of different sweets. Some sweets were of this height, some sweets were of this height. So the height was differentiated, and they're decorated with silver and gold foil, so they look like some kind of architectural buildings. So he has compared to the sweet to the architecture. Now here is a picture. As you can see, the seller is selling so many kinds of sweets. The child stared open-eyed, and his mouth watered for that burfi that was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew as he begged that his play would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. So the child's favorite sweet was barfi, and he really wanted that. His mouth started to water, but he knew that his parents will never agree to buy the sweet for him, because they will say, "Oh, you are so greedy, you want sweets." So he did not even expect any answer from his parents, and he moved on. Now students, tell me, why did the child's parent had to say, "Come, child, come," again and again? Because he was staring at different stores and he lagged behind, and he could not match the pace of the parents. Now students, also tell me, what was child's favorite sweet? Was it gulab jamun? No, the favorite sweet was barfi. Now let's move on and see what happens next. A flower seller hawked, "A garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar." The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards a basket where the flowers lay heaped, and He half murmured, "I want that garland." But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because he would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. So, he was really excited to see the flower seller. He was selling a garland of gulmohar, and he said that it was really impossible for him to resist. He really wanted that gulmohar's flower, but his parents again will not buy it for him, because parents will say that the flowers are really cheap. So he did not wait for an answer, and he again moved on like a good boy. A man stood holding a pole with yellow, green, and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. So, like in any fair, there are so many balloons that you get to see, and balloons are really, colorful, and they're really bright. So we all want to have it. Even I want to have it. So just imagine, he was a really small kid, so he wanted to have all the balloons. Possess matlab to own. He really wanted to own all the balloons. So let's see whether his father allows him to buy it or not. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further. Again, as expected, his parents will never buy because they will say, "You're a grown up kid, you don't need balloons to play. Come on, you are such a big child now." So again, he did not get any balloons. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. Now he was really drawn to the music of the music that the snake charmer was making to entertain the snake, and he really was enjoying that music. He compared the music to a rippling of waterfall, but he knew that his parents will not allow him to hear such sound. The coarse music means unpleasant music. Okay, so he again, like he was doing before also, he without waiting for an answer, he proceeded ahead. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, children, carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked. Shrieked means to utter a sharp sound. Okay, and whirling means to move in a circular motion. So as you can see, and you must have seen in real life also, the merry-go-round, it moves in a circular motion. And they were crying with dizzy laughter. Dizzy laughter means when you're enjoying a ride, you're very excited and you kind of feel some giddiness in your stomach. So when you make such noises, it is known as dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. "I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother." So, till now, we have seen that even though he really wanted to buy certain things, like he wanted to buy the garland, he wanted to buy the sweet, he wanted to have the balloons, he wanted to go near the snake charmer, he did not really request anything to the parents. But now, when he saw the merry-go-round, he could not control himself, okay? And he watched intently means with full concentration, and he really made a bold request. Bold request means he pleaded, he requested his parents that I want to go on that roundabout. Roundabout means again the same ride. Please, father, please, mother. So, till here, we have seen that the child was in the fair enjoying with his family, but he was fascinated with a lot of things that he was coming around with. Okay, so in this class, we will study till here, and in the next class, we will see what happens, whether his father allows him to buy anything or whether his father allows him to go in the roundabout or not. Okay, what do you guys think? If you think that his father allowed, you please write down in your copies, and we will see what all answers you have written. Okay, In the next class, we will discuss what happens further in the story. So, students, we will just quickly summarize the whole chapter. Okay, it was a springtime, and people were coming in the fair because it was spring and it was very bright and sunny times. So in winters, what happens? We just stay in our home. We just wear some warm clothes and we don't go out because very chilly. So when the spring has come, people were wearing good dresses, wonderful dresses, and they were really excited to go to the fair. So many people were coming to the fair. Child also went to the fair with his parents, and on the way he was looking at very very wonderful things, like he saw the mustard fields. He even tried to catch the dragonfly, but he was not able to catch. He also saw that flowers were showering upon him, and there are wonderful things like bright balloons, then sweet shop. He also saw the favorite sweet, which was burfi, and the snake charmer, the garland, the gulmohar garland. All these things he saw, but he could not get any of these because his parents said that no, you cannot have anything from the fair because you're too big to buy balloons, or you're and also you cannot buy the flowers because they are cheap. So a sequence of events happened and he could not get anything from the fair. But at the end of the this passage, we came to know that he really wanted to go and sit in the roundabout, that merry-go-round, and he had made a request to the parents that please let me go in the roundabout. So till here we have learned that there was a child who goes to a fair with his parents, and it was a spring season. So as you know, in spring everything is happy and everything is very bright. The sun is hot and it's very warm outside. So people generally in winters they do not go out. They stay at home, they stay warm at home. So when this spring season had come, so people were wearing good dresses, they were dressing up themselves, and they went out to the fair. They went to the fair to enjoy and have a good time. So this little kid, he also went to the fair with his parents. And some people were coming by walking, some people were coming on horses, some people were sitting in bamboo or bullock carts. So these were the medium of transport through which people were coming to the fair. Now everything was very exciting because in a fair, you see, there are different stalls that sell different exciting things. There are smell of nice dishes that are being cooked. So the environment of a fair is very happy and happening. Okay. So the child's parents always said, "Come, child, come. Come, child, come." Because the child got so excited looking at different kind of stalls, looking at butterflies, looking at snake charmer, looking at garland shop. So all these things really excited him, and he was lagging behind continuously. Now students, as you already know that the child was really excited to buy so many things from the market, but his parents, especially his father, did not allow him to buy anything. Whenever he wanted to ask to buy something, his father gave him a very cruel look. He showed him his big eyes, big red eyes, that no, you cannot buy anything. So this is why he was not able to own any of the things from the fair. Now students, as I told you, it was really warm and sun has come out. So the insects, the small insects and small worms which goes down the ground because they do not come out in winter season. So they were coming out in large quantities from the hiding places. Why they were coming out in large quantities? To enjoy the sunshine, to enjoy the warmth of the sun. So this also really got the child excited, that small worms and insects, so they were coming out and the child was really having a good time looking at these small insects. So as usual, he again lagged behind and his parents started to call, "Come child, come." So when he was entering into a grove, where I told you that his parents were sitting at the edge of a well. So when he was entering that grove, there was a shower of raining petals. So he got so excited and he started to collect the petals into his hands. And as he was collecting the petals, suddenly he stared at the dove. The dove was flying in the sky, and the doves are really beautiful birds. So he got excited and he said that, look, look, there is a dove in the sky. And in this case, what happened? He forgot to collect the flowers that was showering from the sky, and he dropped the flowers from his hands. Again, he was left behind because he was busy looking at the dove. So his parents again called him, come, child, come, let's go. Why are you standing there? And he was really happy. He was jumping here and there. He was not walking. He was jumping because he was really happy that after so long he has come to a fair. Now, what are the different shops that we see in the market or in the fair? I told you there was a sweet meat seller who was hawking gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi. So, out of all these sweets, the favorite sweet of the child was barfi. Yes, very good. The child really wanted to have the barfi, but again he knew that his parents will say, oh, you're so greedy, you want to have barfi, oh my god, you're such a greedy kid. So he knew that his parents will not allow him to have the sweet. So he moved on. He did not expect any answer from the parent. Now, as he moved ahead, he saw a flower seller who was selling what? He was selling a garland of gulmohar. He again wanted to have those, but again he thought, no, my parents will say, oh, flowers are really cheap, you don't have to buy it. So he didn't expect any answer again, and he moved on. As he was walking, he saw that there was a man who was selling a lot of colorful balloons. He really wanted to have those balloons. He wanted to have all the balloons. He wanted to have yellow, red, green, purple, all those shiny and silky balloons. But again, he knew that his father will say, you're a grown-up kid now. Come on, who plays with balloon? You're such a grown kid. You don't have to play with balloons. So he again could not even buy the balloons. As he went ahead, he stopped at a snake charmer who was playing a very melodious and very soft music that was trying to entertain the snake. But again, he could not listen to the snake charmer because his parents had not allowed him to hear such unpleasant music. So he again proceeded further. When he reached to a roundabout, which was many of the child, the parents, men, women, all were having a very good time. They were riding on this particular roundabout ride. Now this time he really could not control himself, and he requested with full confidence that I want to go on the roundabout. Please father, please mother, let me go. So till here that we have studied that he requested a lot to his father and mother to go on the roundabout. Till now he really wanted to have so many things, but he could not really have the courage to request his parents. But now at this point, when he saw the ride and so many people were enjoying on it, they were laughing, they were having good time, so he also wanted to go on the ride. So he made a request that please father, please mother, let me go. Okay, so anybody would get distracted with such nice ride. So he really also wanted to go and have ride on it. So students, we have read till here, and in the next class we will see what happens, whether he really was able to go in the ride or his father again stops him from enjoying the ride. So in this class, till here we will study. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next class.